Hello, I'm Soumya. The passage is, and now the question. The central theme of the passage is, now for the solution, let us first check out the paragraph number 1. Here in the paragraph, the referencing has been done to show the central theme of the passage. Now, many years ago through interview, questionnaires and the reminiscences of outstanding creative thinkers, Graham Wallace studied the steps that are involved in their thinking. Now here, the referencing is being done on the steps that was involved in the creative thinking, and the whole passage is dedicated to this particular thought. Now, for the solution, let us first check out the options. Option number 1, detailing the thoughts process of great thinkers. Although the great thinkers have been referenced in the paragraph, but it was not the whole theme that was there. Option number 1 is incorrect. Option number 2, describing the steps involved in creative thinking, is absolutely true, as we had already seen in the first part. According to Graham Wallace, the studies of the steps that were involved in their thinking were very much similar, although they were not exactly alike, but the recurring pattern was absolutely seen. And in the second paragraph, those steps have been explained. Option number 2 is therefore the correct answer. Option number 3, that is discussing how the brain of the great thinkers function, and option number 4, that is the describing of discovery of structures of deoxyribonucleic acid, that is DNA, molecule by Watson and Crick, were there in the passage, but they were just the examples to show that creative thinkers do think somewhat in a stepwise manner. Option number 3 and 4 cannot be taken into consideration, therefore. The answer here is option number 2. Now we hope the solution is clear to you. Thank you. करके दिखाएंगे. Hello, I'm Soumya. The passage is, and now the question. The DNA molecule owes its discovery to. Now for the solution, let us first check out the reference. It is there in the first paragraph. A good modern day example of creative thinking in which these stages can be found is the account of the discovery of the structure of the genetic molecule, deoxyribonucleic acid, that is DNA, by Watson and Crick. Now here we can clearly see that the discovery of the genetic molecule, that is DNA, is being done or discovered by Watson and Crick. Now for the options. Option number 1, the creative thinking of Watson and Crick, which is absolutely true, as we had already seen, the example has been treated as a creative thinkers. Option number 1 is therefore the correct answer. Option number 2, fructiferous discovery on the part of Watson. Option number 3, the incubation phase of Watson thinking. And option number 4, the deliberate attempts made by the two discoverers to follow the thinking pattern of great creative thinkers are not true as per the passage is concerned. It was indeed the joint efforts of Watson and Crick, not only Watson. Option number 1 is therefore the correct answer. Now we hope the solution is clear to you. Thank you. करके दिखाएंगे. Hello, I'm Soumya. The passage is, and now the question. Which of these is untrue according to the passage? Now for the solution, let us check out what the options are. Option number 1 here says, there are 5 stages in which creative thinking proceeds. Now which is absolutely true. In the second paragraph, those stages or the steps have been explained. As you can clearly see, the last and the 5th stage was there, which is called revision, and therefore we can say that there was indeed 5 stages that was involved. Option number 1 is incorrect. Option number 2, discovery of DNA involved the exercise of creative thinking pattern. Now we had already seen the option is true as per the passage is concerned. It is indeed an incorrect option, can be found clearly in the first paragraph. Option number 3, Graham Wallace discovered that all outstanding creative thinkers thought exactly alike. Now this is something which we cannot deduce. Here, Graham Wallace studied the steps involved in their thinking. He found that though there were individual differences in the way these creative thinkers or people thought there was a recurring pattern. Here we can clearly see that the steps that was involved in the creative thinking had a recurring pattern. They were not indeed exactly alike. There were individual differences. Option number 3 here is the correct answer as it is untrue according to the passage. Option number 4 can be cancelled out. The answer here therefore is option number 3. Thank you. करके दिखाएंगे. Hello, I'm Samya. The passage is. And now the question. What happens in the incubation stage of the creative thinking process? Now, for the solution, let us first check out what was indeed the incubation stage. Now, if we go by the paragraph, number 2. Initiating stage 2 incubation. During this period, some of the ideas that were interfering with the solution tend to fade. In addition, the creative thinker may have experiences that, although the thinker does not realize it at the time, provide clues to the solution. The unconscious thought process involved in creative thinking are also at work during this period of incubation. Now here we can clearly see that in this particular stage, the person is failing to solve the problem. The thinker either deliberately or involuntarily turns away from it, and in that process, the incubation starts. Although the person is not deliberately thinking about the problem, but in the unconscious mind, the process or the thinking process is still undergoing. And on that note, let us check out the options. Option number 1 is, the thinker receives divine premonition and is able to board a solution to the vexing problem through his divine intervention. Option number 1 is absolutely incorrect, as this is a scientific theory and the premonitions that is there is not shown anywhere by the author. Option number 1 is indeed incorrect. Option number 2, the thinker mulls over the vexing problem for all angles and comes up with a solution to the problem. It is incorrect, as we had already seen the author had said that in this process the thinker deliberately or involuntarily turns away from it, not going or vexing the problem from all angles. Option number 2 is incorrect. Option number 3, the thinker deliberately or involuntarily turns away from the problem, though his unconscious thought process still actively pursues the issue, which is absolutely true as per the incubation stage according to Graham Wallace has been shown by the author. Option number 3 is indeed correct. Option number 4, the thinker neglects the problem in totality and moves on to the another chore or problem. Option number 4 cannot be taken into consideration as it is irrelevant as per the passage is concerned, and therefore the answer here is option number 3. Now we hope the solution is clear to you. Thank you. करके दिखाएंगे. Hello, I'm Samya. The passage is, and now the question. Which of the following is true according to the passage? And now for the solution. Now, in this particular passage, the whole theme is about the 5 stages that was involved in the creative thinking. Option number 1, strict adherence to the 5-stage thinking process always result in success. Now here, it was not the success mantra that was shown by the author. Success could be there or there could be a failure. This was the stages that was involved in a creative thinking. There has been no mentioning done whatsoever to support the theory that it was indeed resulted in success every single time. Option number 1 is incorrect. Option number 2, the incubation phase involved in luck on the thinker's part. Now here we had already seen option number 2 is incorrect, as it was indeed the process of evaluation. The stage that involved in the luck part was indeed illumination. If the thinker is lucky, illumination occurs, it's aha, an insight experience. Now here, the process is being involved with illumination rather than incubation, and therefore option number 2 can be considered as an incorrect option. Option number 3, the evaluation stage is the shortest of all the stages in the creative thinking pattern, which is absolutely incorrect, as we can clearly see it was the process where the apparent solution is tested to see if it satisfactorily solves the problem. Frequently, the insight turns out to be unsatisfactory and the thinker is back at the beginning. Now, if the process is being going forth and back and forth, then we cannot say that this was indeed the smallest or the shortest of all the stages. Option number 3 is incorrect. The answer therefore has to be option number 4, which is none of these. Now, we hope the solution is clear to you. Thank you. करके दिखाएंगे. Hello, I'm Soumya. The passage is, and now the question. The tone of the passage is, now for the solution. In the passage, we had already seen the creative thinking and the stages and the steps that are involved in those creative thinking has been explained, and the stages were elaborated by the author. We cannot say that the tone of the passage was indeed sarcastic. There was no reference whatsoever done to refute what the studies from Graham Wallace had involved. Option number 2 is incorrect. Option number 3, humorous. Now here the study was involved and we cannot say that humorous was the tone. Option number 3 is incorrect. Similarly, option number 4, cautionary, would be a very strong word. Here the whole process was indeed investigative rather than cautionary. Option number 4 is incorrect. The correct answer here is option number 1. Now we hope the solution is clear to you. Thank you. करके दिखाएंगे. Hello, I'm Soumya. The passage is, and now the question. Which of these is the meaning of the word insight? Now for the solution. The word insight generally means an understanding or wisdom. Option number 1 says divine intervention, which is absolutely incorrect by the general terminology for the word insight and for what the author has said in the paragraph. Option number 1 is incorrect. Option number 2, a clear, deep and sometimes sudden understanding, which is absolutely true as per the meaning and in the paragraph referencing is done. Option number 2 here is the correct answer. The study of one's thought patterns and dreams cannot be considered even near for the real meaning of the word insight. Here the correct answer therefore is option number 2. Thank you. करके दिखाएंगे.